Here's what's coming up on your horizon. Well, Oklahoma is a native state home to 67 tribal nations. Here you can find a blending of cultures unlike anywhere in the nation. Today, we're going to take you on Oklahoma's new Adventure Road to visit some of the places and people that showcases Oklahoma's Native American roots. Stay with us for Oklahoma Horizon.
Oklahoma Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education.
Oklahoma's investment in career tech provides more than nationally recognized technology education and training. It produces solid financial returns for the state's economic future. Oklahoma Career Tech, elevating our economy.
And the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry, helping good people grow good things. And now, from the Career Tech Studios in Stillwater, here's your host, Rob McClendon.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, if you're going to be heading out on the road for summer vacation, we have a suggestion. It's called Oklahoma's Adventure Road. Joining me now is our Courtney May.
The Chickasaw Nation announced the launch of Adventure Road in March 2015, promoting numerous destinations along Interstate 35 and partnering with more than 150 Oklahoma businesses, creating economic development through tourism. 130 miles of Oklahoma highway, with adventurous destinations designed for explorers and travelers, stretching from the Red River all the way through Oklahoma City.
The objective and goal of Adventure Road is to promote adventure and excitement in Oklahoma as a travel and tourism destination for not only regional tourism, but nationally and someday international tourism.
And with nearly 200 destinations, the adventures are categorized depending on the journey you want to take, from guy's getaway to native culture, or even a family vacation.
Adventure can really be anything depending on what you're looking for. So it could mean that you are going zip lining at donkey zip lining, or it could mean that you are going on a boat adventure on the Oklahoma River, or it might be that you're on a food adventure and you are traveling throughout the various different food destinations, and they might be backyard barbecue destinations that are off the beaten path, native food that you might not experience anywhere else in the country at the Chickasaw Cultural Center, and unique places like the Fried Pies location right at Exit 55 in Chickasaw Country.
The Chickasaw Nation's goal in launching the tourism initiative is to highlight the unique attractions Oklahoma has to offer, while expanding economic development.
We want to see an economic impact, so our goal and objective is that communities work together to bring in new tourism economic opportunities to their destinations and to their communities, and then we can come in and market and promote them as an Adventure Road destination and as a Chickasaw Country destination.
Annual events are also included in the list of attractions, including the Artesian Arts Festival, a proven success to local businesses.
Some businesses saw up to a 75% increase from their year-to-date from the same week in the previous year.
Adventure Road, helping ensure the tradition of breaking free and hitting the road is kept alive no matter how long you have.
Depending on what type of adventure you're looking for, you can really plan a weekend, a day trip, or if you have a whole week, you can spend your whole week along Adventure Road.
The Chickasaw Nation has 4 locations devoted to tourism expansion located within the 13 counties that encompass Chickasaw Country, promoting Native American culture and the state of Oklahoma.
Now, if a person is interested in exploring Adventure Road, where can they get a map or maybe a list of the destinations?
You can go to adventureroad.com, and there's a list of all the destinations, the upcoming events, as well as the adventure by subject. You can also get more information at each of the Chickasaw Nation tourism facilities.
All right. Thank you so much, Courtney.
You're welcome, Rob.
And when we return, we visit a new hotel with the grandeur of the past.
You're watching Oklahoma Horizon, featuring some of the good things that are happening in the great state of Oklahoma.
Well, a historic hotel is finding new life thanks to Oklahoma's Chickasaw Nation. Elisa Hines takes us to the new Artesian Hotel.
Welcome to the historic Artesian Hotel.
Opened in 1906, the Artesian Hotel in Sulphur, Oklahoma has a unique history. Nick Starnes is the general manager.
Truly a very important part of South Central Oklahoma, with many dignitaries coming to this area for the natural healing remedies of the waters and the springs in this area, which really kept the Artesian in its heyday up until the time that it did burn down in 1962.
Rebuilt as a motor lodge, it was purchased by the Chickasaw Nation as its first business, and later torn down and rebuilt to bring back the grandeur of the original Artesian.
And we've been very privileged to have just a groundswell of support for this property, seeing over 55,000 visitors in the first year of operation, 85% occupancy, and just limitless potential in this particular area.
And it's helping bring back to life the city of Sulphur. Keith Mann is the city manager and says Sulphur is fortunate to be part of the Chickasaw Nation.
The Chickasaw Nation has made an investment here in Sulphur that's not ever going to be equaled again. And it gives Sulphur the opportunity to recreate itself like it was in the 50s and 60s when it was a resort area. The original Artesian was where the governors came to summer because it was cooler in the park and things. And they have recreated that. It's been just a truly amazing thing for this community.
A quick tour of the hotel reflects the hotel's heritage, from the lights up above to hieroglyphs on the rugs down below. Every turn shows the new Artesian is designed with the old in mind.
The dark woods, the beautiful tile floors, and then also the pillars. Again, that's a throwback to the original Artesian that had wonderful tile work, fantastic pillars throughout the property, and just really an upscale, elegant feel in every part of the property.
Elegance right down to the executive king rooms. And everywhere you look are fresh flowers that lend a certain ambiance when you walk in.
It's intoxicating. Truly is intoxicating. The beautiful arrangements when you first walk in the door, and then obviously the different orchids throughout the property. And in this case, all of our spring arrangements as far as beautiful pink flowers, and just, it's very vibrant, very upbeat. People love it.
And what do people like to do when they're on vacation? Shop, of course.
We have our shops at the Artesian. So again, on any good getaway, you have to have shopping involved with that. So we have our lodging accommodations, obviously for folks that like to try their hand at gaming as well. And then obviously the shops here at the Artesian that are truly a unique variety of Oklahoma. So made in Oklahoma products with our Okie Twister facility. We also have Bedray Cafe that is associated with Bedray Chocolate Factory. Located in Davis, so true chocolate made here in the state of Oklahoma in association with the Chickasaw Nation. And then also a variety of boutique facilities, your Woodland Emporium, your Lux, that offers a variety of different products that are truly unique to this specific area that people, they absolutely love coming to see us.
According to Keith, the Artesian is a win-win for the area.
Well, it brings many, many people to Sulphur, and a lot of their guests go down into the town, go shopping, walking around, seeing what the city has to offer for them. We have several clothing stores that are downtown. We have the Rusty Nail Winery that a lot of people attend. There's numerous things down through the town and around the town that, you know, just like yourself, when you're out in a different city than what you live in, you go to see what's to eat or what to do there.
A staycation spot that's not far from home.
It's just an absolutely beautiful property that, you know, it's one of those things. We see so many people come in from the Oklahoma City, Midwest City, Edmond areas, even all the way over to Shawnee. People want to come out. It's a great place to get away on a tank of gas, to come down and still yet have some of those wonderful amenities that you might find in downtown Oklahoma City or even downtown DFW. But really, it's a little more laid back. It's nice to come in, be greeted with a smile, and true down-home folks that want to see you have a good time, and we are truly proud of that.
From old to new, It's a grand hotel that shows its Chickasaw influence throughout.
Always love the music.
Now, if staying at the Artesian Hotel, you don't want to miss the nearby Chickasaw Cultural Center. It's a world-class museum complex devoted to the celebration of Chickasaw history and culture. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the culture of the Chickasaw Nation, I have a link to a video on our website that gives a true glimpse into their past and their future.
Still to come on Oklahoma Horizon, the sounds of Native American craftsmanship. But first, returning to our roots.
Well, just outside Tahlequah, Oklahoma is one of the most authentic Cherokee villages in the nation. Called Dilligwa, it was designed and built to give visitors an inside look into the Cherokee Nation's past. For visitors to Dilligwa, it's a look back in time, from the buildings to the games they play, an exhibit that gives a glimpse into a life long ago.
When you visit Dilligwa, you will step back into 1710. The reason that Dilligwa exists is to teach people about Cherokee history, heritage, and culture through a living history format.
So this is the peace pipe design I told you guys about.
Candace Teehee is the director of the Cherokee Heritage Center in Tahlequah. Says tourists can see firsthand what life was like before so much change for the Cherokee people.
So not only is it a moment that you get to spend with living Cherokee people, it's also a bit of a window into the past because we are doing so much to uphold our culture and traditions.
Highlighting the everyday routines of early Native Americans.
Dilligwa features 7 guided tours per day. On these tours, you'll get to go inside a summer home, go inside a winter home, go inside our large council house, our summer council house, and view various interpretive stations like basket making, flint knapping, blowgun shooting, things like that.
A living history of a time long ago and a people willing to preserve it. And the Cherokee Nation hopes by preserving their past, they can also improve their youngest generation's diet. With more, here's our Andy Barth.
Well, the Cherokee Nation has been teaching gardening skills to their children for generations. And with the growing rate of obesity, the tribe is focusing on healthy eating at younger ages. I visited a program in Grove, Oklahoma, where children aren't afraid to get their hands dirty.
Can you get it? You got it?
It's lunchtime at Wanda's Wee Preschool and Daycare in Grove.
Twist, twist, twist.
But first, they have to pick it. Children are pulling vegetables from gardens just like this all across the Cherokee Nation.
We think this is not just about teaching our kids about their culture and where food comes from, but also teaching healthy habits, getting nutritious foods into the homes of our people.
Chuck Hoskin Jr. is the Secretary of State for the Cherokee Nation and says the Learn to Grow program helps more than 3,000 children and their families eat healthier.
You hear about kids who went home and told mom and dad that they want to get some gardening tools instead of toys. It's just really inspiring to hear some of these stories.
Cherokee Nation's Learn to Grow coordinator, Lisa Evans.
Childhood obesity is on the rise, and we see it not just in Oklahoma but among our Native American children. And so we feel like this is a project that we can help to prevent those health conditions by getting the children and reaching them at a young age when they're in child care center before they even get into the school age, and just getting them with those healthy eating habits.
But getting thousands of kids to eat their vegetables can be tricky.
We are seeing the children eating the vegetables that they grow. If we just put those vegetables on the plate, sometimes it's a real challenge, especially at a young age, to get those children to eat those vegetables. But because it's their garden and they're taking part in it, so they're picking them and they want to eat them.
And as far as the kids are concerned,
it's fun to plant and harvest all the vegetables because you get to dig the hole and put the seed in.
My favorite part is watching the plant grow.
And eating them too.
These tomatoes are too good to stop eating.
From their gardens to their tables, the Cherokee Nation is learning to grow and growing to learn.
No, it's a cucumber. I like it.
Now the Learn to Grow program reaches more than 3,300 children in the Cherokee Nation. Since its inception, the program has expanded to more than 100 child care facilities in eastern Oklahoma.
Want to share something you've seen here today? Well, all of our episodes are streaming on our YouTube channel at Oklahoma Horizon TV. Or you can subscribe to our weekly free podcasts on iTunes. Well, native art can come in all shapes and sizes, and nowhere is that more true than on a growing number of walls in Oklahoma City. This winter, our Austin Moore caught up with a young artist by the name of Yatica Fields, whose canvas often is just around the corner.
Off Clawson Boulevard, near downtown Oklahoma City, Yatica Fields works alone, taking his time finding the path of this mural.
I'm a compositionalist and colorist, and I can kind of paint whatever, but when it comes to the wall, you kind of got to observe that and then kind of figure out what you're going to paint, what's going to fit best in this spot. Now, this is an elongated wall and not too high. It's good to have, you know, kind of smaller things kind of going sideways and jetting down in motion, almost like a tumbleweed or something. I guess you could really have a set mock-up and execute it, but I think the joy and fun of a mural is kind of being with it and letting it evolve.
Evolution is at the heart of this project. It starts with a young man from Stillwater, Oklahoma, growing himself as an artist while traveling the globe.
I just got back from Portland and I was doing a mural there, and that was huge. It was probably as long as this, but it was about 40 feet high, and I had a 40-foot lift. So I was on it, but it's the rain season in Portland, so I was, that was pretty challenging.
The building here has evolved too. This half belongs to a bell bondsman, but the other half has been transformed from a very traditional office into something more.
1219 Creative is a creative, collaborative, co-work space. We have large offices, small offices, co-work desk, which are low cost and low commitment, and a communal work area and conference room, plus an art gallery, because we like to keep things creative.
And the art form itself of combining spray paint and blank walls has evolved from a misdemeanor crime to a point of respectability that even the most traditional of businessmen can find value in.
Normally you wouldn't think of the bail bonds owner as the guy who wants to do public art. But actually, J.B. Askins, who owns Abraham's Bail Bonds, said, I've got this huge wall out here and I'm seeing murals go up around town, and I would like for someone to come do a mural here on this wall. And of course, the artist here in the facility, we thought, man, that's a beautiful idea. It's fantastic. Something that would be good for the building, good for the area, good for the neighborhood, and continue on that general idea that we have in Oklahoma City right now about making things great and doing great things and really having pride in where we live and work.
Spray paint's come a long way, especially since graffiti, and marketing it directly to artists, you know. I mean, when spray paint first came out, it was not intended to go paint on trains in New York, you know, but it was, and it evolved.
And there's that word again, evolve. The art form, the canvas, and the artist have all taken journeys, growing and changing. That theme of personal movement is at the heart of this piece of public art. Something that can serve as a reflection for a city undergoing its own evolution.
Well, Yatica and two other artists have just completed a 130-foot mural in Oklahoma City's Automobile Alley. Now, if you'd like to see a video of their work, we do have a link under our value-added section at okhorizon.com. You can keep up with us throughout the week. Just head to okhorizon.com, where you can see more of any of our stories, read our reporters behind-the-scenes blogs, see what others are saying about us on Twitter, and face the facts with our regular updates. So reach out and touch us anywhere and anytime. Well, Native American art can also take on many forms. Sometimes it's for the eyes and sometimes for the ears, like the flute maker in our next story. Joining me now is our Lisa Hines.
That's right, Rob. As one of three makers of the authentic traditional Creek flute, Nelson Harjo takes his heritage and art form seriously. He started making flutes in 1995 and now teaches flute making to help keep the tradition going.
Mark it, drill it, test it.
Nelson Harjo is a traditional flute maker making flutes by hand.
For demonstration purposes, I do. At home, I do have machines. I do have a lathe. I do have a router and everything. I do have planers and, you know, all these other little nifty tools. But this past year, I didn't use them. Everything for me was made strictly by hand. And that felt real good to be able to make contact with the wood because I wanted to get reconnected again with them. I wanted to feel them within my hands. And that's helped. And so now I've moved back to using machines again, but I feel like I'm more connected with it now. Still not there.
A connection that Nelson says is important when creating his flutes.
Because there's still a lot of flute players that are out there that still want to play the traditional style flute. The traditional style flute, the higher note on the flute, it's a little off pitch. It sounds a little off pitch. And a person that's been trained musically, they could hear that. But for our people, that one note being off pitch like that, it's music to our ears. Because it kind of like, that note is kind of resemblance of life, I guess, in one sense of the way. It's because sometimes you're not always in tune. You know, there's those moments to when you're off pitch, so that helps bring out those feelings and everything as you play the songs and stuff.
Provided by the Seminole Sovereignty Initiative.
Nelson's mentor is a Choctaw man who teaches river cane flute making. Lessons Nelson uses in his own craft, making his flutes even better.
It took me probably about 3 or 4 years to even figure a lot of those things out. And so with trial and error on that, by the time I reached about my 5th year of doing it, well then, before that, I had a pile of river canes sitting about this high that were pieces that I'd done that were no good. I just had to throw them away. And then my pile began to dwindle and dwindle, and I began to make more flutes and figured out how to get the sound out of them a lot better. And actually figured out how to make my own flutes.
Carrying on a tradition from long ago.
In our tribes, you know, we've lost enough. We've lost enough in our language. There's just a lot of the traditions that in the removal, there's things that we lost along the way. There's things that we don't do anymore. And there's just a lot of things. And if this is just but one thing that I can do to help, you know, within our traditions, well, then that's what I want to do. Because what scares me is that because nobody else teaches it within our tribe, if I die right now, well, then that's it. Still a lot more. I mean, there's makers, but they don't teach nobody. And that'll be it. I don't like all the attention, and sometimes they give it to me, but I wish they would just look at the importance of maintaining the tradition.
Now Nelson uses different woods to make his flutes, but really likes to use traditional river cane.
The only thing that I can really say about that, and this is what I think about when I think about our other flutes and stuff, especially the river cane that comes from the homeland, you know, when I get the opportunity to get the river cane from there, I treat it with a lot of care because that particular cane and a lot of places that they get it from has been there for years. It's been there since even before the removal. And so when I get that, my thoughts is that these flutes or this cane has seen and heard a lot of things around there. And sometimes it talks to you and you can feel it, to whether or not it's going to do anything or not a lot of times. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's kind of the way I do it.
It's a business that Nelson says didn't start out that way.
I don't like selling those flutes, but I'd rather keep them and play them, but just about every flute that I've ever made has all been sold. And so I don't even have any flutes at home that I keep to play. If I'm going to go play somewhere, then I make flutes to go play. And then I end up usually selling them wherever I go to, and then I'm right back over the process again.
And his flutes are everywhere.
I never would have dreamed that I would have flutes in other countries. I never would have dreamed that my flutes would travel clear across the United States. I didn't start it out to be number 3 or number 2 or number 1. I just started out to make flutes for my family, and I got a real passion about it.
A passion that keeps on going.
I have one song, and I don't know the song yet, but it's back here in my mind. And to me, it's a real beautiful song. It'll probably be my final song. That'll probably be the time that I'll learn it too, is when it comes close to time. But that'll be okay. That'll be okay. Because at that time, hopefully my grandson will be, making the flutes. And I told him, I said, because one of these days I'm going to have to stop. And And I said, and then you're going to have to take over. And I said, but it'll still be the same kind of flute that I make. I said, but you'll be the new maker, but it's still connected with me. And but, you know, I'll feel good when it comes to that time.
Crafting from the heart, an instrument from nature, and keeping a tradition alive.
Next time on Oklahoma Horizon, we go below ground to see why the skills these young people are learning could help meet a growing job demand.
The soil dictates to a great extent both water and air quality, and it is the third resource of critical importance to the human condition.
A summer of learning on the Oklahoma Show for the Heartland, Oklahoma Horizon. Thanks for including us as part of your day. I'm Rob McClendon. Hope to see you back here next week.